Hey, welcome to Collectibles.com Unscripted. I'm your host, Dietrich, alongside my co host, Alex.
Dee and I are the co-founders of Collectibles.com, and we are excited to tell you about our story and explore the passions that inspire people to collect.
We are excited. Hey, but for our debut episode, I think it's important to set the stage and manage the expectations of our listeners. And Alex, this morning, I told my daughter that we were having our debut podcast. She gave me some great words of encouragement, basically saying, "Why the hell are you doing that? Everyone does a podcast. No one's going to listen. No one's going to listen." I mean, and that is true story. And it's funny because you know what? We're to be clear, we're not influencers. We're not trying to be entertainers here. So our listeners should understand. I guess we are creators. We are creators because we're building something. We're building collectibles.com to serve the world of collectors out there, and I think it's a good story. We're going to try to keep it personal on this episode, but yeah, I mean, how does that sound, Alex? Does it sound like a good setup here?
Sounds like a plan, and let's prove her wrong. Actually, let's show her that everybody's going to listen to it.
Okay, I
So
like it.
yeah, so for our first episode, we're gonna, yeah, as Dietrich said, keep it simple. But basically, I'm going to interview Dietrich, and he's going to interview me.
Okay, well, and we got to make it seem really natural, like actually having a conversation.
We're
So
going to try to, yeah.
it always gets different when cameras rolling. But why don't we start off this way? You and I, we've spent a lot of time on Zooms and other meetings. We've talked with a lot of people over the last year in building, and I think the stories that we've shared with others, hopefully others will appreciate as well. So let's start it off. You know, Alex, you've got an accent. I don't know if people have heard this because
Thank you, man.
the irony that with my name, right, there's the running joke that you and I have with my name. I'm the one that's usually, oh, hey, what country are you from? And I'm like, come on, man, I'm an American. But yours is a different story. So why don't we start there? What's your story, Alex?
Yeah, my story. So currently, I live in Germany. This is we live in the western part of Germany, and a beautiful city called Düsseldorf. And originally, I'm from Ukraine. Actually, this is why have a very weird mix of different accents. Because as a kid growing up, I spoke Ukrainian, Russian, now speaking German, English. So that's why it's coming together. Yeah, I grew up in Ukraine, and I was always into sports, and my collector's journey started as I think I was 11 years old, 12 years old, around about. And the way it happened is I'm still a huge soccer fan and basketball fan. And so there was, I think it was 99, where I was obviously a huge fan of Ukrainian soccer team. And back then, I don't know, probably not into soccer or football, how it is called correctly actually in Europe.
Hey,
So
let's not start an international incident here.
yeah.
Football and something else, but
Yeah, so one of my favorite players of all time, Zinedine Zidane, who's not playing anymore. He came to play against Ukraine in the World Cup qualification or European Cup qualification. I can't remember anymore, but it was actually quite. I think 1 year after they won the championship, the World Cup championship, '98. So he was a big star. I was completely into Zidane, and so they come to play to Kiev, and I was super excited about that. My dad told me, no way I'm gonna buy you tickets. So yeah, you can watch it on TV. That's totally fine. So I got two friends with me, and we actually camped outside of the stadium. No chance to get there in, but we got lucky in front of the practicing facilities, and so I got his signature on my shirt, actually, along with some other players. And since then, it sparked something in me. I started collecting different things. Small action figures of football players, soccer cards. I mean, cards were not so popular in Europe back then. It's getting more popular now, but this is how kind of it started. Yeah. So just
Hey, what's on the poster behind you?
this is actually this is cool. So this is not a poster. This is a true sports card, right? It's a rookie card of Messi. It's his real best rookie card out there. But I got the original card. This is one of my precious cards. I don't have it here. It's in one of the vaults because it's quite expensive. And so I was always, I was so excited as I got it. And actually, a couple of friends, they thought it would be an original, gift idea for me for my birthday, and they got somebody to draw it, like as a painting, basically, to hand draw it really. And so I got it to my wall as a sign of appreciation. It doesn't look really like Messi if you zoom in, but it's cool. I love it. So yeah,
What a cool gift. But
for
it's
sure.
and then there's the basketball there because you played basketball, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. So I was into soccer as I was growing up, and then in basketball as well. Always in the team goalkeeper at soccer, and then growing up, I started playing more and more basketball. Got into the high school team, college team. So, and I just love the NBA. I just love the NBA players. Just like the looking at the NBA games. Stats. I was completely into it. So, and one of my favorite players of all time growing up was Allen Iverson. So, Philadelphia 76ers. Just I was a huge fan, and those both of those balls actually from Iverson and signed by Iverson. And yeah, I'm a huge fan. I have like a Funko Pop of Iverson, and yeah, my son stole it from my desk, so I don't know where it is right now. Yeah,
I always tease you when you're wearing some sports related thing. It's like, hey, you never know what the other guy on the other side of the call what they're going to think. Team rivalry might set things off, but that's part of the fun, right? So 76ers collectibles.com. We're building it. It has not yet launched. We're looking to do so as a home, as a community for collectors. A lot of exciting stuff. This episode, we're not going to dive too deep into it, but
yeah.
I mean, your role is what?
Yeah, my role, I'm the CEO. I'm responsible mainly for product and data. So I'm a product guy. Going back to my university times, I studied computer science. I was always into tech, but after the studies, I was more into product, more into product leading roles because I loved the coding part, but I think I was more excited about understanding the technical part, but really thinking and strategizing about the product, seeing how it's getting live out there, people using it, and yeah, this is my main role right now. Make collectibles happen, launch, and then provide the home for collectors worldwide, and just. I think the most important part for me is that we as a team work all together on a certain vision, which we I don't know, Dietrich, if you want to disclose, like just what's our mission or vision is a bit, or and tell the guys out there. Because for me it's super exciting. I it's my third company I'm working on. I co-founded, and so this specifically is obviously super exciting for me because I'm a collector. I'm a huge sports fan. So yeah, this is another part of my story.
It's I'm equally excited about what we're doing, and again, don't want to get too much into the company right now. I mean, the focus is let's let people know who we are. That it's kind of funny. I don't know if this is going to end up on the cutting room floor here. Some of this rhetoric here, but I think it's important. Like some of these, we hear that big big corporations out there and faceless companies, and we wanted to change that, right? I don't know if we're going to get to the point of, what's it called, Alex, like building in public. We're not. I don't know if we're necessarily going to take that approach, but it still is good for people to know who the guys are, who the team is, and in terms of vision, the only thing I'll say right now is a teaser, right? You and I, we've spoken a lot about this, is that just a recognition that everything out there right now is primarily transactional, right? People that are buying and selling, and that's great, and it's a huge market, right? 350, 400 billion right now, projected to grow to, was the latest report, a trillion by 2033. It's a big pie, right? And there's a lot to go around. But is there a home for collectors where they can do more than just buy and sell, but rather showcase what they have, and that's what we're working on. But talking about collectibles, I want to get back into that, and I've got a little show and tell when you turn it to me here, so I'm looking forward to that. But
Yeah.
you okay? So it's the jersey that kicked it off for you. You started getting into cards. What else? What else do you collect?
Yeah, so it's for me, it's a memorabilia. The balls, the jerseys, cards as well. But very particular, specific players. And lately, when I say lately, it's last 4 years, 3 or 4 years already. I got into watches heavily. And specifically the last year, because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like I'm constantly online. Everybody's constantly online. All the team is remote. Like, and then maybe it's something like where you search for something which is more like mechanical and real, right? So, and this is what I love about watches. So I got into watches very much. So yeah, those are my things. But Dietrich, you have to tell me, like, this poster. I'm seeing it. I don't know if you changed rooms or something, but tell me more.
No, you can't call me out on that. These are props. These are props. I just got them. Normally what I had hanging here, I thought it'd be nicer for the show, but even Chris, our producer, has seen this before. I'd have like lithographs, botanical lithographs that are pretty cool. But in terms of collecting, my journey, I don't know if it's certainly different than yours, Alex. I mean, it's less on the sports and more on the entertainment. As a kid, one of the seminal things for me, I remember, was Star Wars, right? So Star Wars, science fiction, really got into that. I grew up on westerns. I'm kind of dating myself, but Bonanza and Big Valley, and western shows, that Wild Wild West. For me, I got into like collecting some Western artwork, but I collected Star Wars cards when I was young, and actually, so I do have a couple of props here, and I think just to sort of set it up, this cracked me up. I literally pulled this out of the garage. This was
In a shoebox, out of a shoebox, I guess.
You're gonna
Right.
laugh at this. Hush puppies, right? Okay. And I'm not going to show what's in here. I'm just going to, I'll open the lid and okay, here we go. There's a little something in there. But I taped on Battlestar Galactica. Do you remember that? I mean,
Yeah,
look, so
it's cool.
I've got cards, but as you know, my big thing is lunchboxes, vintage lunchboxes. So I don't know how many of our listeners. I mean, we might be losing them right now. They hear lunchboxes. Forget about this, but it's true. Like there's a
It's
collector for everything, right? But
it's super cool. The one time you showed me. I mean,
I got it
are you gonna
here.
show something?
Check
Yeah.
this out.
Is this?
So look at this. Here we go.
Yeah.
This
This is awesome.
this is a lunchbox, and I don't know if we can get into frame here, but yeah, it's pretty cool, And what I really think, what is this? 1969. Actually, Alex, I looked this up. I think the condition's different, and maybe the model's different, but if you look up at the Smithsonian of American History actually has the Museum of American History has one. I think it might be similar to this, but it's artwork, right? Like that's what's cool
It
about it,
looks
right?
so crisp. I don't
Pretty
know, like maybe.
pretty clean, you know. I
Yeah,
got I got a thermos in here.
that's awesome.
I, I didn't use this, but anyway, so well, I wanted to show this, and then also check this out. Let me see what the date on this one here is. 1976. So now NFL, right?
Wow.
So what's cool, and you and I have talked about is the crossover with collectibles, right? The if you're a sports fan, the different types of things, memorabilia, cards, jerseys, right? Balls, bats. It's all there. So it's exciting, and
But why did you specifically start it with lunchboxes? I mean, because it's so unusual, right? It's, before you told me this, I didn't even know that it's a thing. But you can, I guess there are
yeah.
so many things you can say this about.
Well, I'll confess that I actually had one as a kid, taking my lunch to school. Right, that's what they were. I mean, they're a utility, but and that one I don't even know what it was. I lost it. But the truth is, honestly, I was decorating a sort of a little movie room for the family, and the obligatory thing is, I get myself a Godfather poster, right? Hang that up. Like these are things that everyone would expect. And
Scarface and all
yeah,
those.
but I don't know what it was. But let's just say I was searching online at a place where you might find a lot of collectibles. We won't give a shout, but respect, a lot of respect, because there's a lot of stuff out there. We what do we say, Alex? The world's greatest flea market. But
Yeah.
so I was digging through, and I was searching for kind of ideas and looking. I think I was looking for a movie, and I found a lunchbox on display, and it was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And what we always say about being collectors, once you scratch the itch, I didn't actually realize, but it's like, oh, okay, so that's cool now. And when I first received it and I looked at it, it was like a tangible piece of artwork, and I could put it up on a shelf. And I thought, okay, well, that's a little empty. Let's get some more. And well, one thing led to another, and so
How
you know,
many? How many do you have?
uh, a few. Let's just say a few. I think it's right now a couple hundred, and it's easier to say that if you've seen a movie or a TV show, popular TV show, I've got the lunchbox for it. My prized possession, you've heard me say this, is I believe it's a 1967 Star Trek, and it's a dome edition. So. Nerd alert. That's where I'm at. But I really, it's fun, and it's unique, right? And it's always something to talk about. I think that's the cool thing about collectibles. No one needs a collectible. We all buy them because we're passionate about it, and they represent something nostalgic. And I think everyone listening who collects can, that hopefully resonates with them. So, yeah,
It just sparks some emotion, right? You pick it up, I have a Zidane, actually, a rookie card here, right? His I don't know if you see it, but
oh,
yeah, it's his original rookie card. It's not in the best condition. It's actually quite bad. But some people collect cards and they only want the best grades, and like I'm more into the card itself. So when I find the card, it's just I don't really care. I like it's kind of like sealed in the plastic box, but it's not really. I don't care about the grade. So yeah, this one was a pretty nice. I found it in France actually.
yeah.
So pretty cool. So and, from time to time you just pick it up, you look at it. It's just sparks this emotion of like I remember how I camped there outside trying to get an autograph. So that's pretty cool.
So Alex, maybe shifting gears here, the listeners might want to hear, again, who are we? Why are we talking about this? How did we meet? What's the story as we start growing this company of
Yes.
collectibles.com? And by the way, we should also talk about the domain, right? There's a
Yeah, for
story
sure.
there.
You did some serious hustle there to get it. So yeah, I mean, it was like, around about 2 years ago, like, I had a huge list of my cards, and, the market was booming. So I was like, okay, what's the value actually, and
Hmm.
I sat down and, I thought, okay, where do I get the value now? I have to look at the comps, right? The recent sales. And so, I realized, okay, doing that for over 300 cards is going to be a tedious task. I actually did it once, and I said, okay, I went to our co-founder Anas and I said, listen, this is, we need to do better, right? So there has to be a solution, and this is how it started. And so we got to know one of our first investors, Lucas, shout out to him.
Yeah.
And he connected
Who,
us with
by the way, sorry, Alex. A shout out to Lucas who listens to this. Maybe make him blush. His Twitter handle is sneakers with a Z,
yeah,
and you can guess what he collects. He collects a lot of sneakers, along a bunch of other stuff.
cards.
Yeah,
He collects cards as well. So yeah. And we got to know each other, and you were super excited from the beginning. I was pleasantly surprised by it because I just thought it's going to be another call, right? Some dude wants to talk to us, but potential investment. But you were so energetic. That's what I liked about you, and then this is how we get to know each other. And then you can tell your side
oh,
of the
go on.
story, how actually.
No, please go on. Just keep talking about how great. Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, look, I was really excited that Lucas introduced us, and look, you left out something that is kind of a important point that I think really speaks a lot to sort of the part of the origin. But the Angel round was led by Peter Thiel, and
yeah,
just as a side note. Peter Thiel, well-known billionaire, PayPal, all sorts of other things that he's involved with. Despite his how should we say his affluence, his wealth, he's actually, from what we understand, not much of a collector. But what he does like is data, and we'll talk more about that. But yeah, Alex, look, the feeling's mutual. When I met you guys, I knew I want to be part of it. I wasn't sure, get to the co-founder status. Things had moved quickly for us, but early on, what I saw, what really excited me, and the problem that you just described as a collector, right? Just, having cards, managing them all, keeping track of them, valuing them. I think most collectors will relate to that, right? For me, even, the lunchbox is, it's a Excel spreadsheet, and you try to keep it updated, but it's a pain in the ass, right? So what I saw, early kind of prototype, proof of concept that was built out, I was excited, but also piece of it, and where I was at the time, a startup called Real Good. I want to give a shout out to my friends there. Real Good with two E's. It's a TV guide for streaming, right? And Alex, you've heard this, so indulge me here, but it really does tie into what's cool about it. TV guide for streaming age, bringing together all these different data sources of where to watch things, right? And being able to track all of these things, I saw a lot of similarity to what was being done under the hood for cards, right? Collectibles as a market, right, is fragmented, unstructured. Cards, it's been one hell of an education just to see how many variations, how many manufacturers, how many sets, the nuances, and to be able to create a universal data set is quite a goal. But then not enough of a goal, because when we start talking, I was saying, hey, we need more than cards, right? Let's blow this thing up and look at other things, right? I mean, the top categories: cards,
that
coins,
makes
comics, stamps. But hey, for lunchbox, you and I were looking at some site. I don't know, it was last year. Tea bags. Some people collect tea bags, right? I mean, disclaimer: we might not get to that catalog anytime soon, but there's a lot to be done. So that is, part of the excitement of our endeavor for collectibles.com is to improve the data around collectibles.
so. DJ, tell me, what's the goal with the podcast? Let's talk about this. Like, what do you want to do really? We said it in the intro, but what's truly the benefits?
What is the goal of our podcast? Well, I think I kind of said it at the outset. We want people to know who we are and what we're doing, and quite frankly, it's a way to build a relationship with the community, with collectors. There's shows, events that we will start showing up at, but on a more day-to-day or weekly basis, I think this is a good way. You and I talked about this. It does. it's not who we are. We're not entertainers. Hopefully, we will be somewhat entertaining. Hopefully, we'll be informative. And the shows as they move on, we look forward to interviewing people and put them on the spot. Let them have a chance to talk about why they collect. Because here again, with our focus with Collectibles.com, focusing on community, it really is about showcasing collectors and what they have. So a podcast is a great vehicle to be able to reach them. I mean, we're going to have all different ways to build that out, but I'm excited that people get a chance to get to know who we are, and hopefully, reach out to us and give us ideas on things that they want to hear about, what they want to learn about, and also how what they'd like to see in the product, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, and I think, what I'm excited about to showcase the stories of different collectors, because this is what excites me the most when I'm, researching my next card I want to buy or my next watch. Usually those, videos of podcasts, where people sit down and showcase their collections, the story behind the collectible. I think this is super exciting. First of all, because you learn, because about new pieces, you kind of you appreciate the stories behind it, and why somebody collected, what is somebody thinking actually while buying this stuff, and it kind of expands your own view on certain collectibles, or how you should look into things. I learned many things about cards as well, like what kind of stuff can you collect, why do people go deeper into certain things, like I think in the 90s people were collecting full sets, right, of cards. Now, people, there's so many variations going out, too many, I think, but it's another topic. So, people started collecting different colors. It's called rainbow, right? So they want to collect the same card, but in different variations, like, in gold and blue and silver, whatever. So it's super exciting to learn about those views and how people think about things. And because you can learn your own, you can expand your own collector's view and knowledge. And yeah, super excited about that.
Yeah, agree. Well, I mean, we're almost running up on time here. What any additional thoughts on the future of Collectibles.com? What gets you most excited? We can both answer that.
Yeah. What gets me most excited is that, we have a chance to rethink. We are building actually collectibles from scratch. And so we have a chance to apply the newest technologies, the newest, uh, everything what's new in technology, what can help collectors to value their collectors, understand what they collect, showcase it, and buy and sell it eventually, and trade it. And so I'm super excited about the newest technologies and that we have the chance to, have this, completely blank canvas which we can fill out with, our vision of collectibles. And we're gonna, talk about it more in the next episodes. But this is what I'm most excited about, having this chance and opportunity. Because if you think about, the last 20 years, there were not so much, innovation in the collectible space. Obviously, the last 3-4 years changed a bit, and it's going to the right direction. But I think it's still very much an underserved market because, yes, a lot of happened in the card space in the last 3 years. But if you look into the other spaces, it's still very much, very much raw, and it's just technology is not very much, into this in this collectibles
Yeah.
yet. So excited
Yeah.
about that.
Well, look, I obviously I can only agree strongly with that. You put your finger on it, Alex. It is innovation. It's about technology. I think that's the perfect tease for the next episode or one to come, because how we're approaching it, leveraging the newest technologies to do something different, dynamic, and might actually be a paradigm shifting for collectors. I mean, that's a bold statement to make, but we've got a big dream and a big vision. But it's all rooted in something that is simple and that is collecting, right? There are few people that are as passionate as collectors, and so we really do hope that they'll be equally excited about what we're doing. So anyway, I'm going to close off right now. I say if you liked what you heard today, make sure to like, follow, or subscribe to the podcast, and be sure to check out collectibles.com. Right now we've got a landing page. You can sign up. You can grab your handle, your vanity URL, and where hundreds of thousands of collectors just like you will be finding their community, building community. So, thanks for listening, for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right. So, Alex, do we just keep talking? Maybe just kind of some blooper rounds here.